Hello students, welcome to your class of botany. Today we will be dealing with the first chapter of your 11th standard, that is the living world. As you can see, in order to start the living world or any chapter of botany, you need to have the clear idea what is taxonomy, okay? When we start with the taxonomy, we also deal with binomial nomenclature, which we will be dealing simultaneously in the coming video lectures as well, okay? But today we will be dealing with your taxonomy. As the name suggests, taxonomy is the simple classification of organisms. I would write it down for you. Classification. When we talk about classification, right now we know that classification deals with binomial nomenclature, which has your generic name and species name, okay? But today, first we need to deal with the history of taxonomy, that how the taxonomy started. Taxonomy, we will be dealing in two simultaneous lectures. Today, we will be focusing on the early attempts of classification. So when we are talking about the early attempts of classification, we need to know that how the classification concept actually came into the picture. So it was first Aristotle. Aristotle was the first person who started an early attempt in order to classify organisms. So on the very basic feature, how did he started? He started on the basis of simple organisms with blood and organisms without blood, in a very simplified manner. Of course, in a very broader term, what he wanted us to understand, with blood means of course he is dealing with animals, and without blood, of course, plants. So the basic identification criteria that initially started as an early attempt. So if the question pops out that what is the early attempt, who started, who initiated early attempt, it was Aristotle. Okay, so now moving ahead, if you look onto this criteria, now we are moving ahead apart from Aristotle's early attempt of classification. He very simply said that organisms are of two types, animals and plants, with blood, without blood. Now it was Theophrastus who later on said that on the basis of habit, he identified organisms into, specifically plants, into herbs, shrubs, undershrubs, and then trees. So Theophrastus, again a different botanist, a scientist, came into picture, and on the basis of habit he identified plants into herbs, shrubs, trees and undershrubs. Okay? Along with this system of classification is known as, which was jointly given by Theophrastus. On the basis of the information given by Theophrastus, it was Carolus Linnaeus. I'll tell you the name later on. First, let's discuss about this. Theophrastus, first he explained that yes, there are plants, agreed, on the basis of the information given by Aristotle. Yes, they are classified shrubs, trees, undershrubs, and then your herbs. On the basis of this information, it was Carolus Linnaeus. He further identified plants on the basis of number of carpels and stamens, male reproductive structure and female reproductive structure. Okay, and because he was able to identify that there is a male reproductive structure and a female reproductive structure in a plant, this system of classification given by Carolus Linnaeus was also known as sexual system of classification, because he was able to identify these. Okay, and yes, his system of classification, which is now known as sexual system of classification, what he did in that classification, let me clarify that one. Let me rub it off for you so that it will be easy for you to understand. Remember when I told you that yes, on the basis of number of carpels and stamen, when he was doing this, Carolus Linnaeus actually studied 24 classes of plants. Carolus Linnaeus studied 24 classes of plants, in which he concluded that yes, some of the classes belongs to phanerogams and some of them are cryptograms. Okay, and dealing with this phanerogams and cryptogamy, we will be doing later on in detailed structure analysis during your plant kingdom session. Okay, so phanerogamy, these are the flowering ones, and cryptogamy, these are the non-flowering ones. Okay, so when he was studying the sexual system of classification, he studied 24 classes of plants, and we clearly concluded that some of them are flowering, some of them are non-flowering. The detailed analysis of what Carolus Linnaeus has studied, it has been mentioned in Genera Planetarum. Genera Planetarum. It's a biological magazine in which all the information regarding the Carolus Linnaeus finding is available here. Okay, and this whole system of classification dealing with Theophrastus and Carolus Linnaeus is known as the whole system in which Carolus Linnaeus and Theophrastus has given further explanation is known as artificial system of classification. Artificial system of classification. What you need to know when you are doing taxonomy, you need to know the name of the person who has identified that thing, okay, any botanist, any zoologist, and yes, what system of classification. If a question comes up that shrubs, herbs and undertrees was given by, under which system of classification, so you should know the answer. Okay, now when these system of classification were coming in advance, there were other people also. Okay, so now we will be dealing with other scientists. Okay, so the third one is your John Ray, Deacon Dole, Bentham and Hooker. These four scientists, they concluded all the information that they have gathered from the previous scientists and come into picture, which says they all dealt with, or they all gave classification on the basis of natural affinities, and that is why this system of classification is known as natural system of classification. Natural system of classification. Okay, when we are saying that yes, these four scientists, they gave the information about natural affinities, and when we talk about natural affinities means all the information, be it with respect to embryological, ultrastructure, any cellular information, they have all dealt under natural system of classification. Okay, so now you know the three important criteria. First was your early attempt, second was your artificial system of classification, and the third one was your natural system of classification. That means almost all the scientists play a very important role in order to identify, in order to make us understand what this taxonomy is dealing with. In order to simplify more, it was this system of classification, which is now known as, and most probably being used, is your phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. let me tell you what does phylogenetic system of classification deals with. Remember, when we talk about any ancestral history, that this plant originated from phanerogamy, then remember it is like algae, and then red algae, brown algae, simultaneously it debranches itself. Now we know that yes, if we are dealing with bryophyta, there is thallophyta, then there is pteridophyta. How did these things come into picture? Because now we know the phylogenetic analysis of this. Phylogenetic also means that the small minute details are being taken care of, and with the help of those details we can identify proper structures. Okay, so now let's start that. How did it started? Lamarck was the first person who gave the term phylogeny. Ernst Haeckel was the first person who gave the concept of phylogeny. There is one person, his name is A.W. Eichler. Okay, A.W. Eichler looks into the all criteria that was given earlier, but he also concluded he made a small change. He placed gymnosperm. Remember angiosperms and gymnosperms? He placed gymnosperms into the phylogenetic tree. So the contribution towards the addition of gymnosperm goes to A.W. Eichler. Okay guys, so far you guys have understood what we have dealt with. So this is the system of classification we have done so far. You need to know each and everything along with their originators. Okay, and in the next video what we will be dealing with the branches of taxonomy. Okay, till then, thank you so much.